How are you guys? How are you, the Big Picture Philippines followers? And for those who are watching this, we're just gonna do a quick share because I have a very powerful Ahu guest today, and I'm so
Oh,
honored that she said yes. Of course, she's a dear friend, and she has been one of my inspiration with my online freelancing journey because I was part of her group when way back 3 4 years ago, and of course, and I attended the first OffCon 2018. I was there. We were not close yet or anything at that time. I was just an attendee. But the turn of events, we I realized, once you are in this path of entrepreneurship, and I hope you are, for those who are watching this, mga entrepreneurs dyan, or would-be entrepreneurs, or just wants to live life to the fullest, as you grow and grow, you learn and learn. And of course, our paths crossed again when we have met in MMI, and then
yeah.
yon, and we joined, of course, the Quantum Leapers. So mga Quantum Leapers dyan. So yeah, so we finally saw each other again in MMI. This is a Millionaire Mind Intensive, and I'm actually talking a lot about this event. And yes, we have here a very wonderful guest. I mean, ibang klase to. She's an amazing woman. She has built a group, as I've mentioned, the Online Filipino Freelancers, now 230,000 members strong. And may it be Manila, Cebu. We did our recent one last year, Cebu. Grabe,
Yes.
ang daming tao. And so, sana we can still continue with Davao, but I don't know, with this pandemic. And of course, she launched her brand. Ito, she is now the CEO as well of Copify. Oh, grabe, no? Copify PH, and they're like selling pancakes, no? Ang daming distributors ito. And it's been crazy how she's able to manage it during this time of the pandemic. I think I've introduced her enough. She's a loving mother, of course, and a loving wife to Sangay ko, Dave. And sisters, and her sister. I've met her personally. So please help me welcome with a who and a resounding applause, CJ Cajoles.
Hey, hello, hello, the big picture, everybody who's following Dave online and offline and lahat ng fans ni Dave.
Wow, fans talaga.
Fans, yeah,
So,
thank you. It's such an honor. Grabe. I'm very excited to really be here, and thank you for the opportunity to be in your podcast. My future mentor.
oh yeah, so she's starting a podcast soon. So definitely, and dami mo ng followers dyan, no? But yeah, so I'm here to interview because I want to learn more about how you has started this a lot of businesses, and this is not a crazy, this is not a simple feat, diba? I've tried I've tried starting my own group. I tried also learning about e-commerce and all that, but I've realized that there is a lot of effort and struggle and sacrifices to be made. So we're gonna dig deeper to that, diba? So we're gonna inspire people on how you're able to make it happen. So let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
What's your story? What's the reason how you got into freelancing or into this business world?
Right. So no holds bar na to because like I mentioned, Dave is a very good friend and he made the introduction as to how we met. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is CJ Cajoles and I'm the founder of Online Filipino Freelancers. I got used to that when you're using the elevator pitch. Yun yung
Oo.
susunod na sentence eh. The founder of
Classmate
it's a
talaga.
freelancing community, yes, of work from home as well. This is a community of work from home Filipinos. If you have heard of yun nga mga team bahay ganyan. So it started with a very handful people lang, and then we grew to about 235,000 now, and we're here like for 5 years in existence. And yeah, from there I transitioned to becoming an e-commerce entrepreneur, selling online, selling physical products in the US, in the Philippines. And then I transitioned to being a coach. I wore so many hats already in the past
Yeah.
years. So parang naikot ko na lahat yata. Hopefully meron pang matatransitionan. I had a mentor who said like you're like a water, parang wherever you go, wherever flow, kung saan ka sumusuot, something like that. So that's what they call me, like you're the water, something like that.
Mm.
And then recently, last January this year lang, I have launched my own brand, which is Copify. It's a coffee business in the Philippines. And there's another one. It's a skin. I don't know. Yeah, health niche naman siya, like the gluta thing.
Is that
So
what I'm seeing at the background? Yeah.
Copify,
Wow.
di ba? If I could just give this to you,
Oh.
there,
Oh, I
they,
need coffee right now, di ba?
yeah.
Sige.
So
Yeah.
there, and that's my journey, and I'm also an entrepreneur, coaching other entrepreneurs as well who want to begin their journey, like how they can sell online, earning 6 to 7 figures a month.
Amazing, di ba? So for those of you who are already interested about all of those, CJ is the woman to connect, no? And yeah, so CJ, I think I have a lot of questions actually because we haven't like talked one on one talaga na matagal, no? But let's start with the simple one. So I like a lot of I've heard a bit about that story about how you got into freelancing. Let's start from there and maybe how you were open to this world, no? Because everyone started they say all masters were once disasters, no? So yeah, can you share to us about that story? Maybe that a little bit story where it all started. Now you decided no, I can and you didn't work as a freelance straight, diba? So you came from the corporate world, ba?
Yes, I came from
Yes.
BPO,
Yes,
corporate
please.
world, and then call center. And I think everybody who among us did not even try to type in Google how to work from home or how to earn money at home. I think everybody does that. So
Mm,
that's how I started as well. So I and eventually I learned about Odesk Panon. Now
mm,
it's Upwork. It's the name of the, how do you call that? The website where freelancers and the clients meet together, and we get to hire based on the project, something like that. So I was a first time mom back then, 2011. So it's about almost 8 to 9 years already. I started to find ways on how I can earn money, like decent amount, even if I'm not leaving the comfort of my own home. Because it's the first time mom, usually you don't want to leave your kid, ganyan.
mm,
So that's how I began. And then I little did I know that I will be creating a community for freelancers, because in the beginning, in the past, like a decade ago, the community of freelancers is not as large as this right now. Like
exactly.
wherever you go, there are so many communities. But before, you're on your own. Like
Mm,
you, if you would be scammed, or if there are clients, if they're legit or not, um, you you wouldn't really identify as early as set on. So that's the reason why I started to create a community, so that the others, and plus there's no social life kasi when you're working from home, like you're really at the comfort of your own home and no one's
yeah.
there. That's the thing that you would, probably one of the things that you would give up. So yeah, basically I just really wanted to have like a communication with other freelancers as well. And then
Mm,
I think that was the purpose. But I think everybody who's been an influencer would also say I did not plan this route, or journey. Parang it just happened along the way, and then the connections na lang, that things that happened that led to another. That's why you became you, something like that. So that was my story.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, and going back to that, because I was actually really, looking up to you and seeing, well, how was she able to make up 100,000 members? And that is that there's no, I'm looking out for the formula because me as a thriving, wannabe influencer then, but I was,
You are an
we all influence. By the way, last interview we had, Julius, he mentioned that even if you're introvert, you can influence 10,000 people in your lifetime.
I
No
agree.
matter no matter what you say, you are an influencer. If you're watching this, whoever you are, you influence your family, friends, and sometimes for the better or for the worse. So be careful, right? So why not be the better influencer like CJ here? influencing not just and we're gonna get to that, how she was able to influence her family as well, her sister for getting into business too. Diba? So, and I discovered, CJ, I don't know if you would agree, but I felt that uh, y- uh, a leader can build this big group because there's one key element. And what I realized over time as I'm studying these people is that they truly care. And and in your group, they tawag nila sa kanya nanay, the mother of the group. Yeah, can you share more about that? Most people actually want to start because they want to be famous and parang ganyan.
Right,
But at the
right.
end of the core of it, diba, there's care. And maybe you can add more. Can you tell us more about it?
Agree with that. There are nowadays there are already parang courses how to grow a community. So there are people who are um selling online courses like how to become a community manager, how to grow following. But
Mm,
back then when we were starting Online Filipino Freelancers, I didn't have like really one-on-one course or short course or whatever. I think the key thing there, I agree, is that you care for that. The money will follow. A lot of people, maybe if you wanted to become like a TikTok influencer, or influencer is a big name right now,
yeah.
like Instagram influencer, and a lot of people would know that when you are an influencer, the money follows or the endorsement follows. Like you get free stuff, you get free makeup if you're reviewing vlogs about makeup or different kinds of niche. But if your heart is really not into that, it would be really hard for you to find a place or a position in whatever niche that you have. And my mentor also mentioned to me this: there's a kiliti method, KLT, which
Yeah.
means people will only buy from people that they know, they like, and they trust. So that's the KLT method, or the kiliti method. So if
Mm,
you're somebody who wanted to earn from being an influencer and from, whatever, affiliate marketing and being a leader, you really have to position yourself as somebody who's someone who cares. And I remember there's one quote that people will not buy from you unless they know that you care. And once you get that reputation and the heart that to serve, whatever you do, whatever products you endorse to them, they would really buy from you. If you say
yeah.
jump, they will jump because you
Yeah.
said so. So be careful as well there, because there's a, the power and the influence to people is, there's a huge responsibility on that. But I agree with that. You should
Yeah.
care.
Wow, yes, amazing. And yeah, so hi daw Coach CJ, sabi ni Jane Perez. So
Hello,
so
guys.
yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any shout outs, let us know while you're watching this. So hopefully all the 1620 people who are watching this live, and hopefully more people are going to watch this live soon or on the review. So
Yeah.
really good idea there about the Kiliti method and how you're able to grow. And I think we all, as long as we truly care, and really just put ourselves out there, the more we land with the right people, then, and I think it's an important aspect in growing the community. But of course, this community was not just built by CJ alone, but there are key members as well who were able to build this. So, can you share about like finding the right maybe uh, core group or even family? How you're able to influence even your sister to be part of e-commerce business and all of this. Can you share more about that?
Yeah, okay. For the admins of Online Filipino Freelancers, probably you, I don't know, it's a trial and error kasi. Sometimes
Mm,
you will, when they're active in the community, I get to parang monitor them and watch them from afar if they're continuing to serve the community without getting any purpose or without getting any monetary, because
mm,
off is a community that we serve and still free. So free, the admins are spending their energy and their time reviewing the posts and answering other freelancers without getting any paid. So we're not really paid here at all. It's just really 100% out of the heart. So when somebody's providing value to the community, I tend to promote them and ask them if you wanted to become like a leader, if they have the leader type
yeah.
personality. So that's one. However, there are times that I also fail as a founder, because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't, parang in the beginning they're good, but when they already have the I'm already the admin type of thing,
Ah.
they get to be their own way and like do power tripping, for the lack of
Mm.
better term. So you just have to also be careful with that if you're a community manager. For my sister naman and my brother as well, they started with e-commerce. We saw the potential of getting 6 to 7 figures back then. Kasi back in 2017, it was not as hard as this when you're doing Facebook ads. Now it's a little bit more complicated, and Facebook is getting stricter by the minute. But back then in 2017, when you throw money on Facebook, it will really come
Yeah.
back to you like 10 times, 20 times, how, no matter what the product you sell.
Wow.
But now Filipinos are getting, I don't know, smarter when it comes to choosing sellers online too. So, but then we saw that I think my siblings as well are kind of entrepreneurial as well. Na parang
Yeah.
they're not so much employee type, because there are two things, and there's nothing wrong with becoming an employee, but they also chose to be people who wanted to start their own businesses. So I think the influence is also there when they see you doing stuff, and it's nice to bubble wrap together, find products together, ship things
Yeah.
together as a family.
Yeah, because I envy you actually about that because I'm not saying that my brother is not entrepreneurial, no. Baka nagbuhat siya
Okay.
ngayon. Patay ako. But what I'm trying to say is that it's hard, when you're I'm actually me coming from a family of not so entrepreneur. I don't know about you, maybe you are related with
Hindi naman.
Di ba? So it's really hard if you start your own way. And I don't know, may story ka ba dyan na like people were saying no, wag dyan because walang magsasucceed dyan. Yeah,
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot, because we live in the Filipino culture where the Filipino culture is like this. You study hard, and then make sure you graduate, and after you graduate you find a job.
mm,
That's the pattern, that's the culture that we lived in for many years and decades, and it's hard to become an entrepreneur in that kind of setup. But we were probably blessed that our parents are very supportive in whatever we do. But there are also families in the Philippines where they're very strict ties, so that if the father said so, you should follow it, something like that. And I think that's hard for some cultures, some families, that's happening.
yeah.
But I have a lot of students like that. They experience like even in freelancing.
Mm,
A lot of people have felt that freelancing is just like a small time gig. It's a temporary, and you don't have enough money on it, or like you can
parang
get
it's not a
client,
long-term career, no,
right? It's
na
like a long term career, and then you can get a client here, and then you will have terminated, or they would say wala namang pera talaga dyan. Get a real job. Yan yung
yeah,
palagi sinasabi.
yeah,
Get a real job, because they're used to it. But then we really just have to prove. And for you, siguro, my advice for those people who would become freelancer or entrepreneurs, if you really are true to your heart, like if you really want to do it, then prove to them that you will succeed anyway.
yeah.
Parang prove them wrong, whoever that is. Parents, in a good way, but not so much in a bad influence. But prove to them that you can do it. That this niche is very profitable. So yeah.
Yeah. So as there are if you're looking for as an example na you starting your own, no, go to the group, the Online Filipino Freelancers. There are 230,000 people actually saying you proving you wrong na walang
Yes,
career sa
yes,
online, di
yes.
ba? Tama. So and I like how you mentioned all the time, CJ, and I think it's also very humbling, that even a person like you, or even for people who look at me, who are who think that I'm big time or ano ba, but we all have mentors, right? We all have mentors, and you've mentioned that a couple of times already. I don't know how many times in our call now. Yeah, diba? And that's why we've met, because we're looking for mentors and we're learning, and we have mentors foreign and local alike. Then so yeah, can you tell us about, and this is important because as someone who's maybe starting a freelance or e-commerce business, and they realize that it's really hard to do it, I think it's important to find a mentor. So can you share about why even with your success, you still look for mentors, or you still have mentors?
Because I believe that there is I still have a lot to learn. the moment that you tell yourself that I'm already good, that I can handle everything on my own, that's the start of your downfall. Everybody looks for a mentor because, well, here's the thing: there are people who cannot afford a mentor. When you say a mentor, kasi usually there's a fee to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Our mentor, again, Mr. Harv Eker mentioned that you can be a very nice person and at the same time extremely rich. So in the train the trainer, he also mentioned that, and their singer. So we're constantly finding mentors because we need to have source of inspiration as well. These people have already begun, um, and they have succeeded in their journey. So as they say, if you want to become a millionaire, follow a millionaire, someone who has already done it before. But there's a caveat there, of course. There are people who would say, and I get this a lot of times, like, I don't have money
Mm.
for a course. Wala naman akong pera to purchase something like that. We're blessed to have Quantum Leap
Mm.
because that's a lot of money, right? But not all people have, like, say, 300,000 for it. But maybe what we're trying to say is that you can also find them in Google or YouTube. I think there are tons of free content naman in Google and YouTube. But it's important for you to find somebody who's very credible, someone who would lead you and someone who would guide you on how they did it. So you just have to follow the footsteps. And there's one quote that I really like: success leaves footprints, something
Yeah, I
like.
was about to say that success leaves clues. May mga
Yeah,
clues.
success
Blues
leaves
clues.
clues. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. There are clues. If they did it already, and then they would also share the experiences, like, oh, I did this and it did not work. Especially in e-commerce,
Mm.
where Facebook ads can be very technical. So when you have a mentor, you can get their advice. Oh, I did this, I ginawa ko yan, it did not work. So at least you have a heads up, because in Facebook ads usually, in Tagalog, there's like masusunog yung pera mo. You don't know how to read these kinds of things, like, unless until you have a mentor who can save a lot of time and shortcut um your learnings for you. So it's extremely important, and up to now we continuously find courses, and if they have new course, we buy immediately.
Diba?
When they launch something, we go there because it's I don't know, I think that's the one thing that helped me really really grow. I did not do it on my own. If you want to times 10 times 20 your wealth right now, your bank account,
Yeah.
find somebody who already did it, and
Yeah.
then just follow them. What did they do, and just duplicate. It's a duplicatable. It's happening to my words. That's a
Sorry,
duplicate.
napapa-English ka dito.
May word pa na ganon. Yung,
I forced CJ to say, speak English.
yeah, duplicatable, whatever.
Yeah.
Yun.
Yeah.
You can duplicate success.
Yes, definitely. Truth bombs, di ba? Value bombs yon. If you're watching this right now, I hope you are learning a lot from this, because this is it. This is it. This is the secret, di ba? Na if you want success in your life, they say also, like, not just mentors but also people who you hang around with. Kaya nga
Yeah.
nagpapalapit ako ni CJ and with Lish, di ba? And our mga power women natin dito sa Philippines, right? So these are, look around you, who are the mentors that you can tap into. And sometimes then there are different kind of mentors then, diba? I've noticed, I've gone through a lot of trainings then, CJ, and I've also been with some mentors na parang really, their hustle is different from me, because they're really like very formal, parang ganyan, and they're really
Top of
parang.
your head, who's your favorite mentor?
Okay, so I have, since I am into the
Ako
real.
na yung nag-interview.
Oh, wow, ha? So I have so T Harv was definitely one. Robert Kiyosaki when I first started, but right now I don't know. As I meet the guy, parang different siya ng vibe from the book.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki is very strong and very powerful with words. But I really look up to Brendan Burchard. I don't know if you know him. Sila Ed Milet from mga podcasters then. And I'm transitioning to real estate. So I'm
Oh,
starting to really invest in real estate now. I mean, yeah,
can
hopefully
look into
yeah, but I'm gonna share more about that journey too, about investing in real estate. Kasi ako, like, ako, CJ, no, I'm just all about just the easiest path and making it as relaxed as possible and enjoy the time with life. Kasi like right now, especially right now, the pandemic, and we'll transition here, no? The pandemic that really showed us that how vulnerable we all are. Like everyone is affected. Yeah, mga big. I have big people that I've met that we've interviewed in their podcast, no, who had like thousands of restaurants, but all of them are closed, and they have to lay off people. So yeah, so I think it's really humbling to really think about how we can proof, nas kanang parang ang tawag niyan, bulletproof yung investments natin, our money, so that we can really enjoy time with people as well. And people are dying. A lot of people are dying. I've known some people who were affected with COVID. So yeah, let's go to that, CJ, no, because I don't know about your business, how I think it thrived, definitely thrived during this time. So can you share to us how can we thrive during instances like this, like the pandemic, when no one really showed us that this is possible.
Correct.
Yeah.
As they say, if you are still well alive at this point and
Yeah.
you're COVID free, that's a huge, huge blessing already. And I agree. I don't know if you noticed, Dave, but note recently I've seen a lot of people who are posting deaths in the family, deaths
Mm,
like their friends. So it's very, I don't know. I'm so
heartbreaking, no?
sad with that. Like my best friend, one of my best friends in college, her husband just died, just as your age. Same with
What?
us, like 30 something lang.
Yeah.
He died from COVID, but he's super
Mm,
healthy. So who would
yeah.
know na this year, diba? Somebody will be taken away from you because of that. And she's positive too.
Oh,
She's hanging in there. Imagine you're grieving and at the same time
yeah.
that's extremely extremely hard for her. In terms of the business, um well, no one's ready talaga, even the big companies. I don't want to brag about it that the Copify or our businesses are booming or something like that, because I know a lot of huge companies are closing down. So we are just a very small fish, talagang small startup company pa lang kami. But
Mm,
then, one of the tips that I could probably give is that maybe we should start positioning ourselves online. If you
yeah.
are somebody who has a business but you don't have any social media presence yet, I think there's one mentor. I'm sorry, I'm gonna mention the word
It's good.
mentor again. Who mentioned to us that there are two things. Oh, I think that's Ty Lopez. There are two things that we should have right now. Aside from real estate, the two wealth or the two things that we should have is you should have a website
Mm,
and you should have social media presence.
yeah.
If you don't have those two, if you have a business, you're gonna lose. So in this time, in this point of time that it's pandemic, you must have a social media presence. It's a huge, crucial thing to position yourself there. Because think about it, guys. Even if we're done with the pandemic, where a lot of people would still go like within their homes lang and buy online.
Yeah.
Not everyone would go rush to the mall, especially this Christmas time. So think about it. If you're selling something, try to make like how do you call that? A Facebook page, and then you can create like a shop now button. That's one thing that we can all do to thrive in this pandemic. So talagang kailangan ma-discarte ka talaga. And the other people are transitioning to selling online, right? Kahit
Yeah.
those people who lost their jobs, just sell anything, just do anything
Food
to
mostly,
not
no?
really not thrive lang nga but to survive, just to
Yeah.
survive in this economy. And I think this too will pass as well. Even Sandy they had a trainer that we have for
Yeah.
trading. This will end. It's not forever that there will be COVID. One way or another, they will find a cure and the vaccine. But just for as long as COVID is here, try to survive. Try not to try to stay alive, even
Mm,
the businesses. So one thing is really make a social media presence. If there's one thing that I can leave you guys with this, make like a Facebook ads or learn a sponsored ads on Facebook so that you can advertise and learn e-commerce as well.
wow. Diba? So, that's it. That's CJ
That's
over there,
it.
diba? Ang galing, diba? So, yeah, I would agree 100%. If you guys agree with this, if you're watching this, let us know, because I think really at this time we're all affected. Na walang, even if like even if for some of the people who might, I think we're always tested as entrepreneurs, as someone who's going through life. We're always tested on how we can become better and how we can improve. And during this time, I think it's also good to consider that learning a new skill. Like if you're
Yes.
still watching, come on, I think we're turning 6 months. I think maybe
6
10
months.
days, 15 days from now, from the
Right.
initial quarantine.
Mm-mm.
Grabe, 6 months. Ang bilis.
True.
And I haven't gone out of to be honest, CJ, no, I'm one of those scaredy cats that uh, hindi ako lumabas sa kahit town namin. I haven't gone to Cebu City at all. So
Oo
it's
nga
very,
eh. Oh, and
grabe.
Cebu has been affected tremendously.
Yeah.
Same with NCR, diba? Same with
Oh.
Metro Manila.
So yun. So it's how the everyone's affected. And even if you're doing well right now, I'm always preaching about emergency funds, yun mga
Yes.
try to prioritize then who and also like give love during this time. I would say totally reach out if it's time to care, if time to give, if my extra ka, it's really time to give right now and really
Correct.
help. And yeah, so I'm actually that's why I'm sharing this knowledge to all of you, or interviewing people like CJ so that we can help as much as we can. I think and I'm glad CJ mentioned she's gonna do podcasting, because I believe that the future thought leaders or podcasters, di ba? Parang sila yung mag-preach about
So
whatever. And
excited.
yeah, and it's evergreen content din. So it's always there. And YouTube din, di ba? Mag-YouTube ka daw, I noticed.
Kasi I'm introvert. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned a while ago, let's just touch base on that very quickly. Even Peng Jun is one of my mentors that I
Mm,
follow him talaga on social media. He said that it's not an excuse that you're just making it as an excuse that you are an
mm.
introvert, but he is also an introvert playing in the extrovert field. So
Yeah.
yeah, after this, I'm sure I'll get exhausted. Especially in events like Ofcon, diba? When you say hi to people, hello, shake
Yeah.
hands, and hug each other. But after that, the introvert in me will really need 1 or 2 days rest. That I will not speak to people. I will just be in
Mm,
my room. But if you are called for a purpose, if you know, and everybody here that's listening in this podcast, we all have purposes in our lives. So don't let us not make being an introvert an excuse in order for us to. There's a big obligation for us to, to share whatever message that you have in your heart. It's your obligation to share it with other people, something like that. So
yeah.
that's why we're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've mentioned introvert, and I think the online is really good for introverts in a way, di ba?
Yes, and podcast too. Kasi I'm not really hi vlogging type
Yeah,
na
di
hi,
ba? Hirap nga eh.
not like that. So maybe podcast is for me. I'm praying for it talaga. So maybe there's a sign to that. And I'm happy that Dave will be my mentor. So abangan yan, how he will
Yeah.
turn me into a podcast superstar. Yes, he's my
Oh,
mentor.
I'm so honored to have you, and let's enjoy, because it's all about passion for me. It's all about really just if we can help as much like it's all about that. Kasi ako then I'm my life was changed by a podcast, to be honest, CJ. I've listened to this guy when I was really depressed. Depression yung issue ko before. I had rough times.
Mhm.
And yeah, so ending it all, parang ganyan na theme.
Oh,
'Di ba? So back in 2013, 2000 ganyan. But yeah, so podcasting or any influencing actually really helped me, because this guy from the US has taught me that there's three types of life. There may charged life pala, that you can yung hindi victim mentality. So I was at the victim mentality for the longest while, 'di ba?
wow, that's interesting.
So
I
yeah,
didn't know that. Ah.
oh, because I was a nurse. I was stuck with that. Parang ganyan. So let's go into that, CJ. I want to talk about that because I know we're all experts at this. The victim mentality, yung mga scarcity mindset, di ba? Because I think it's really important as a, and I know you're a big fan of this, because I see your post and I really like how I feel when I see, oh, ang galing pag kita ko si CJ she's really succeeding with whatever she's doing right now. So, and I think it requires a different kind of mindset, which a lot of people somehow neglect, di ba, yung mindset. It's very important. So can you share about the how can we improve that mindset, or how does it really affect? May effect ba sa iyo yung mindset, having the right mindset?
It's everything. It's
Wow,
everything
yes.
talaga. If there is always one question when we get interviewed like this sa mga influencers in this COVID, may ganyang question all the time. If
Mm,
if everything is taken away from you and there's only one thing that can be retained, what
mm,
will that be? My answer is always the mindset, because you can always build anything from ground up when your mind is in the proper place. Even nga yung mga paralyzed, di ba, or those people who thought that they cannot be healed, the power of their minds heal themselves. The body can heal because of the mind. So never ever underestimate that. And we are all energy. Millionaire mind intensive na tayo. We are all energy, guys.
yeah.
So whatever you feel and whatever you attract, it will happen in your life. So everything is really in your mind. Even money, you attract money. I know a lot of us want to become successful and millionaire, well, not millionaires, but wealthy. It all starts with your mind.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use it, by the proper thinking, by the proper handling, you're gonna lose it all. And even if you don't have money or knowledge, if your mindset is correct, like the abundance um, mentality, in the long run, you will really succeed. Even one of my mentors also said that the the success between today and whatever you want to achieve, it's not going to take 10 years. No, it's not that long. It will not be overnight, but it won't take you 10 years. Maybe 1, 2, or 3 years is enough for you to get there.
Wow.
And the number one thing that you should have is mindset talaga.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. No, what, how, and I'm gonna share a story, right? So 2000, diba, I shared everyone that I was a freelancer. I'm still freelancing, but I just transitioned it to make it into a business lang. So parang small outsourcing team. But yeah, so from freelancing, I attended the OffCon. And you know what? There, coming from Cebu, diba, I flew there, and I saw CJ and all of those speakers, si John, mga ganyan, and Lish, of course. And I was like, wow, grave. Uh, the goal that I had before was just parang okay, 100,000 pesos. And this is not to brag, diba? But I'm just pointing out the numbers there. Na okay, 100,000 pesos. That's okay for me. I'm good with that, diba? When I was there, I was like, oh, parang konti lang pala ng
Barya lang
100,000.
pala sa kanila, no?
Di ba? So I was like, okay, so I have to change my mind. And so I develop and develop and develop it. And yeah, and just by that instance, no, by meeting someone or joining that event or just being part of whatever meeting, and Bo Sanchez also shares this story, by the way, of how he was in this table of millionaires, parang ganyan, multi-millionaires, and he was just the, his mentality changed because of that, just being around that. And yeah, so mindset, pretty important for everyone who's watching this, I think. Yeah, and how do you change? What's the first step, CJ? Can you share about that? Yeah.
Connecting talaga. From the success, and the secret is find a mentor. So connected
Yeah.
yun eh. Your mindset must be connected to the mentor. And there's also one nice quote that I really love too. If you want to sit with the winners, the conversation is different. So you
Mm.
find somebody, like you are the sixth, tama ba? There's a quote like that, right? For the five people that you hang out with, you will be the sixth. So whatever they converse about, what they talk about, you will absorb kasi the energy and the mindset and all that. So how to have a nice mindset, like an abundant mindset? Find someone who has.
Yeah.
Yun.
And don't
Yes.
be a
You can have
hater.
it by yourself lang talaga. Like reading books, yes, sure. Different ways. You can
Yeah.
find them on YouTube. You can have it there in podcast. Kasi dati naman walang YouTube and podcast. So people read books lang talaga. Back
Yes.
then in 1992 or something like that, right? So everything is in book. But now there are other ways or other avenues. If you're somebody who doesn't like to read books, like you get sleepy reading books, then try listening, or kaya try to watch YouTube videos and all that stuff. So but definitely find somebody who already has the mentality or the life that you want to have, and you want to mirror that person. So if you want to become like Dave Visaya, then follow Dave. What
Or
he did,
CJ, of course. Yes.
how did he become like this? So what are his struggles? And you can relate naman to that person as well. So yeah, I think that's the key
Yeah.
there.
I think that's really important that people miss no, because they think that sometimes we still think that it's all about one track, one path, and all of that. Work hard, one path, but
Yeah.
you get that money. But I think there's a lot of paths out there. There's a lot of ways to earn money, and that's just what makes it amazing, diba? I'm super amazed. I was listening to this podcast, CJ, no, na he was in the US, of course. I had this podcast that I was listening to. He changed his life in 6 months.
Wow.
He divorced his wife. I think he had a bad relationship. He started with this new career, and he had the best life ever when he did that in just 6 months, di ba?
Regarding
So
to divorce.
ang grabe, like ang galing sa divorce doon, but let's not talk about that here. But yeah, but the thing is, yeah, I mean, you can change actually the people in your life if you like. Just
Yes.
don't leave them. My advice to that is always don't leave them, but stay, distance lang konti, especially if they're really negative and all of that,
Right.
and find the right influence, then lift them up. Try to lift them up if they can. You can. Yun lang talaga. So I still
Right.
hang out with those people. I'm not judging people at all, but I just make sure that I show them that it's all possible. No, no. And that's what we do.
Six
That's what
months
we,
within 6 months.
yeah, 6 months, within 6 months, or even, yeah, or it could take as long as you like, but nonetheless, if you're on the path, no, you're still going to be better than someone who's just sitting on their couch, who's not even realizing the beauty of life or
And
beauty
take
of a
action
business.
too. I think
Yep.
that's the third. So you find
Yes.
you change your mentality or your mindset by finding a mentor, and then you take action, because no matter how many mentors you have in your life, if you do not apply it immediately in your life, then it will not make
Yeah.
any sense at all. So
And
take action.
I'm talking to someone right here right now who's a really takes action right away. Imagine, memorize pa niya yung mga quotes.
Oh, di ba?
Diba, right? So, grabe. So, yes, and just want to announce everyone that this is actually our 1 year anniversary from Train the Trainer, right? So,
Yeah.
certified trainers po kami, mga certified trainers
Yeah.
mentored by Blair Singer himself. And yeah, so it's just amazing how, and I love this conversation, CJ, because it's good, because it's I feel really energized just by hearing about your success and about your tips and all that, because we need that constantly. Now it's not like, oh, we learned this, like, some of the quotes you've shared here, although I've heard that before. Over time, not a lot
Yeah.
of things happening with your life, and nakalimutan mo na. Then after that, it's supposedly nandyan lang, but you've forgotten it. So it's really good to hang out with CJ, or with someone who is actually inspiring you to do more. All right. So so
And
yeah.
yeah, speaking of the trainer, I just wanted to also mention this, that Dave is a part of the trainer. We met in, was that Singapore, right? 2019. That was the first time that we really met. And your host tonight, today, this afternoon is sobrang taas ng caliber niyan. Yeah. Dave has the certificate of Blair Singer. Blair Singer, if you don't know him, is the trainer of the highest paid coaches in the world, not only in the US. So that's who trained us both. So world class
Yeah.
talaga yan si Dave.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are all world class, no? We're so honored. We're so honored to to be mentored by Blair Singer. And yeah, so I think we're down to my last few questions, CJ. No, we can talk forever with this. I love this conversation. But I know you have to rest din kasi introvert.
Naubos yung energy.
What was your energy? But yeah, another thing I'm really curious now, because yeah, the thing is, on and off din tayo. I'm not, and I know also, and for me myself, sometimes I feel like down. It's not everything perfect, and when
Yeah.
people see you or see someone like someone else who's really out there, who's succeeding, even our mentors, they also have their downtime. So can you share a bit about that? The reality of things, diba? Because people glorify people, like, we see them as someone like our mentors. We see them that they're perfect, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're humans. Have 24 hours, the same as ours. They put the same one ano ba yan? One leg at a time sa pagsuot ng uh,
Right.
pants, diba, or shorts, right? So yeah, can you share more about that? Like, how can you be? Ano ba to? How can you be? How can you like tell the people that it's not really like all the limelight and all that, all the glory and all that. So what really is entrepreneurial or a business owner?
Well, we're all humans din naman talaga, but we don't just share negativity, I would say,
Yeah,
on Facebook. As they say, you don't, most of the time, what people see are only the tip of the iceberg. You only see
yeah,
the success, you see the results, but you don't see the hardships, you don't see how many tears are falling in our eyes, how many sleepless nights, how many frustrations, and how many battles we won silently. Every mentors have that. They would, I mean, everybody naman, not only the mentors. So I think, um, aside from, not only to, it's okay to admire somebody, but it's also, one thing is to learn from their difficulties. When the mentors are explaining to us, like, oh, I did this, like for example, Dave, he had a depression, right? So that's a pain that he turned into, um, to make himself better, and that is a testimonial for him that, hey, if I did this, you can do it too. If I conquered this path or this battle or this monster, you will be
yeah.
able to do it too. So that is one thing that, I also like to listen. I think, what do they say, failure is a better teacher than success.
Mm,
So that goes with the mentors as well. So we're not all perfect. We all have downtimes too. And what I also do whenever things are getting overwhelming, I just unplug myself. Like, okay, detach muna
yeah,
from work, and that's okay. And one thing that I also wanted to leave, the listeners as well, is to, one thing that I learned is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself if you have been hurting yourself. Kasi sometimes I do that too. I'm so perfectionist. Like, oh, di mo na naman ginawa to. You did not do this, or you failed on doing this. Pero it's exhausting as well. You are you are your own demon, or you are
yeah.
your enemy.
Executioner or parang
Number one
ganyan.
enemy is yourself. So
Yes,
you have to also forgive yourself and pat yourself on the back and say, hey, I did a good job, even if it's a small lang. Celebrate small wins.
yes,
Oh yeah. Dami ko
yeah.
sinabi. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing because and you know a lot of our listeners might be hoping to ask me. I'm gonna ask about how the like how e-commerce works. Of course, if you want to learn the details of that, go connect to CJ. And right, because the thing is, the behind the scene, I think, is more important. Having that right mindset, finding the right mentors, and really taking action. Because I believe, no, we all have the power to change our lives and to make it better, as long as you just have the right, like the right mentors nga, and really taking action, and first and foremost accepting the fact that you need help, that we all
Yeah,
need help, that
exactly.
yeah, and yeah, forgive ourselves if we're wrong, and it's always okay to try again and stand up again. All right, I think that sums up our first part of the interview, and I have my lightning round ako, CJ. The lightning round is quick answer, quick questions.
Nagulat ako, first part pa lang.
No, that was the bulk of it. But yeah, we have like lightning round where I ask you quick questions. You can answer as fast as you can, or you
Okay.
can expand a bit. That's fine. So let's go over it. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right.
Kabahan
So
ako.
who or what inspires you?
My kids.
You got two kids, diba? See, I've met Kenshin.
Yeah, three
Three
boys.
na. Oh,
Three
three.
sila. Kasi yung isa kasi hindi ko siya masyadong kasama kasi he has autism. He's with
Mm.
my mother. Malapit lang din naman. I mean, upstairs lang. We're like into apartment. So, ang hirap kasi yung kunan din ng camera. So, gulo-gulo, blurry palagi. So, yun.
Yeah, we
I
have
get to, yeah,
yeah, we
record.
have not gone that, no. We have not talked about that, but that's actually a good topic in itself. Then it's having that and handling that
Yes.
right situation. But nonetheless, yeah. So your kids inspires you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you have I know you don't have a morning. You have a morning routine din naman because you're a night owl, di ba? But can you share about your
Morning.
waking up routine? Ano mga routine mo?
My routine, pagising sa umaga, I'm gonna look for my Copify. Routine talaga yun.
Okay, that's good. Sige,
Nag, yun, maybe
coffee.
coffee. Tapos, I'm gonna, of course, there's a little meditation or prayer, nandun naman talaga yun, hindi nawawala. Tapos, yeah, and then I will before I sleep kasi this is my secret pala to
Okay.
staying organized. Yan, I'm gonna share it now. Every night I will write the things that I will do tomorrow. It's not a long list. Maybe just one, two, three. Marami na yung five at most. So small things lang. And then I'm gonna write it at night so that tomorrow I'll look forward in checking that notepad. I always have a paper. Absolutely, it will not be gone. Like even if it's just a small one, just to dump everything. What are you gonna do tomorrow? So tomorrow I'm gonna check that out. And then at night I'm gonna celebrate small things like, oh, there's a lot of checks here. I think it is productive. It's a very good day. Good job, CJ. Okay, you rest
Wow.
again. And then reward myself with a few Netflix episodes.
And a few shopping. Anyway, so she's I really like her post mga ganyan. Natatawa ako sa mga CJ.
Oh,
Yeah, but I like it. So that's good because that's a habit that we actually do, no? I mean, I've read that somewhere. For mine naman, CJ, I actually have this parang airtable then I write everything then. So I think it's the same thing, and yeah, I think
yeah.
everyone should get
Even
into
if
that
it's
habit.
notepad, whatever you're comfortable, tablet. Ako kasi am the old school who writes, or you have whiteboard, anything like that. But it's crucial that you write everything. And you like detach yourself and step away. Like, oh, maliit lang pala yung problema. You're overthinking. But if you
Yeah.
write them all at once, you can see it. This is what I'm gonna do today. Ganyan. And sometimes a lot of people have like 100 to-do lists in a day. Don't do that, guys. Just
Yeah.
maybe one to five is okay. So you don't
Yeah.
have all day naman.
And this is all for the achievers dyan, no? Mga ultra grabe maggawa, di ba? We are so hard on ourselves. We list everything and we feel bad. In fact,
Right.
we're doing so much more compare, to what's the usual, di ba? So, yes, good tip. And my next question is, what resources can you suggest? And I know we talk about mentors here, but maybe one thing, one resource or a book or a course or about whatever, anything that you can suggest that it's good for our listeners.
Of course, number one is follow Dave Visaya.
Galing.
Yeah. Number two, siguro in terms of the books, there's so many talaga sa books. I think Grow Rich by
Think
Napoleon
and Grow
Hill.
Rich. Yes,
At,
I love that.
a must. What else? The Secret is also one. Ang dami. Nako kung books at books lang until bukas tayo matatapos dito for suggestions. Yeah. But
Yeah.
those are the things that are at the top of my head.
All right.
Meditation, nothing in particular, but that's another thing that we should also consider.
All right. Awesome. Yeah.
Yun, mga ganun.
Think and
Dave
Grow Rich
Visaya na
and
din.
yeah. And CJ, of course. Think and Grow Rich. Grabe din yun, di ba? I really like, it's a classic. I think it's free na nga eh. You can download that. Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. So, we already have that. You answered unknowingly that if you're starting all over again, that question, di ba? So, galing. We got the cover. But here's my second to the last. Do you consider yourself successful?
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kasi
explain.
when you look from behind, what are the things that you are successful right now? There's that's a secret as well. There you acknowledge all the successful things that you do. It's not about bragging. It's not about being, oh, mas successful ako ngayon. It's not that way. But you
Mm,
acknowledge it that thankfully I made it, and
yeah.
be humble enough to know that you have a long way to go and anything can be taken away from you in a snap. So yes and no.
Wow, yeah, that was a wonderful question. Galing, I think it's one of the best because I always ask this, and a lot of people are confused with it. It's actually a question about what's your success for you, diba? So trick question.
It's a trick
My
question.
and here's a question that we always ask because a lot of our listeners, CJ, and I'm actually an advocate, and this is why we started the podcast. I was a nurse and would have been not here anymore in a OFW and may have maybe a good life, but sometimes we miss our families and all that, and we sacrifice a lot just to be there. Or you have a 9 to 5 job or whatever, a job that you are stuck with that you don't really like, or right now maybe you don't have anything at all during the pandemic. So what is your tip to get them started to becoming maybe an e-commerce expert or or just entrepreneurship? Yeah, can you share a tip?
A lot of this is I'm also proud and humbled at the same time that in our course in off university, there are a lot of OFWs who are already here in the Philippines, and they are
Yeah.
already starting their own
Uh-huh.
e-commerce business. Maybe how you can start is really do research if it's really for you.
Yeah.
What is online freelancing? What is work from home? What skills can you acquire in order for you to get a job or a client or a project? Or what are the things, what are the steps? They're all available online, guys.
Mm.
YouTube and Google are there, so it's free naman. You don't need to hire a mentor immediately. But if you're curious about it, there's tons of content there, how to work from home.
Yes.
Ganyan. So make sure that you find something that fits you, fits your personality, because there's a lot
Exactly.
of things as well, like copywriting, social media marketing, chatbot, anything. There's a lot there. So do the research first. That's the step number one.
Amazing. And the best part is any of them could make you successful, I would
Yes,
say,
and
right?
like you said a while ago, there's a lot of paths to success naman. So there's no
Yeah.
one way.
Exactly. And but yeah, if you want inspiration and if you want to connect with CJ, so this is the time. CJ, where can we find out more about Copify, your course, or Online Filipino Freelancers? Can you share all your links where we
Oh,
can find more about
sure.
you?
My personal account is connected to Dave, so we're friends ni Dave. So you can you can search me on Facebook. So I do sometimes post on my personal account. I have a fan page, but I don't really update it all the time. So my Facebook page is like an open book to everybody, to my followers, to my friends and family. Mostly public posts yon. So everything is there. Pasensya na kayo if you will follow me online. There's a lot of halo-halo there. Personal, business,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, and all that. Copify PH, you can search that also on Facebook and on
Yes.
Instagram. And the group, Online Filipino Freelancers, is also searchable on Facebook. And everything is on social media. So just join the group as well.
Yeah, so we'll have all the links once this is live on our website also so that you can easily click on it. It's going to be at thebigpicture.ph/episode 68. So do check that out if you want to connect with CJ. I think we really had fun here, CJ. I enjoyed it a
Yeah,
lot.
I enjoyed it. It's been a while and
Yes,
first
it's
time
a good
with you.
yeah, it's a good conversation. Send my regards to everyone, no?
Yeah.
The
Oh.
buds and all those. Yeah, oh. I have to take that pa pala. So for those of you who are listening and watching this, I would suggest and I would pitch also like go check out MMI or Millionaire Mind Intensive. It's one of the best programs out there when it comes to this. It's their programs are up there, like world
Yeah.
standard, world class. So you'll experience a lot of things. I really like the MMI. I won't spoil anyone about it, but yeah, hopefully we this pandemic will end soon. I really
And it will
pray for
change
that
your
you stay.
lives. Not only fun and learning, but totally will change the trajectory of your life talaga.
Yes, yes, so amazing and yeah, and you can find people like us in there.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
di ba? Mga learners then. So that's one thing, and I think that's about it. We just wrapped it up in an hour. CJ, thank you for
Hey,
take
sakto.
your
Yeah.
time.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, let's feel free to connect with CJ. Her course, she also has a course by the way, to e-commerce. I think we so check it out
Yeah.
off university. That's still
Yes.
off university.
teamofuniversity.com. Just connect with me and I'll let you know
Yeah.
about
Okay. So if you want to learn more about that, how you can do e-commerce, which is a really good and thriving business during this time, I think you should check it out. I think that's the best course. As far as I know, right? The best course, of course. And I'm a graduate of that. Although I haven't started my e-commerce yet, but yeah, it's good to learn. I'm a learner. I think you'll learn a lot of things from just you find your passion by learning more and more things, and eventually you'll figure it out. So I hope you figure it out, guys. Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
guys.
watching us, the 25 people who are watching this
Thanks
live.
for staying until the end.
Yes, and yeah, go ahead and check out the please subscribe and yeah. So that's it. That's it for me. This is Dave. This is CJ. Bye bye, everyone.